The great hall of the Galactic Alliance was filled with noise. Strange lights floated in the air, and powerful alien leaders sat on high platforms. Today was a special day. Every advanced race had come to show their strongest creation. This was the day Earth would be judged. From the far side of the hall, the humans arrived. They did not bring an army. They did not bring a giant machine. They brought only one figure. He stood alone on the metal floor. He was Earth's prototype, thin, damaged, and covered in old armor. His left arm showed repair marks. His chest unit flickered weakly. The moment the aliens saw him, laughter spread across the hall. That is Earth's best. One alien mocked. He looks broken, another said. Some laughed openly. Others shook their heads. Compared to the giant warriors of other races, the human prototype looked small, weak, almost useless. Even the human delegates felt shame. They stood silently, knowing this was all Earth could offer. High above, the alien queen watched with cold eyes. Beside her sat the princess. Young and curious, the princess leaned forward, studying the human. He looked different, she whispered. The queen did not reply, one by one. Other races presented their champions, massive beasts, glowing soldiers, living machines, each one stronger than the last. When it was Earth's turn, silence filled the hall. The human prototype stepped forward. He did not speak. He did not bow. He simply stood straight. The council leader laughed. Earth, is this a joke? He asked. Your species dares to stand among us with this failure. Before the humans could answer, the ground shook. A loud alarm echoed through the hall. Red lights flashed. A containment chamber near the royal platform exploded. Alien fire poured out like a living storm. Screams filled the air. The princess was thrown from her seat. She fell toward the flames, trapped behind a fallen barrier. Protect the princess, someone shouted. Elite guards rushed forward, but the fire burned hotter than any known weapon. Their shields failed. They stepped back. In fear, the flames grew higher, closer to the princess. The queen stood frozen, her eyes wide. For the first time, fear crossed her face. Everyone looked away from Earth's prototype. No one expected anything from him. Then, he moved. The human prototype turned his head toward the fire. His damaged systems warned him of certain death. His armor could not survive even seconds. Still, he took one step forward. The crowd noticed. Laughter turned into confusion. What is he doing? An alien asked. The human prototype began to run, straight toward the flames. The humans shouted in horror. The aliens watched in disbelief. Fire wrapped around his body. His armor burned. His systems screamed. But he did not stop. He reached the barrier, lifted it with burning hands, and shielded the princess with his own body. For a brief moment, the entire hall went silent. All they could see was fire, and a weak human standing where no one else dared to go. Then the flames swallowed them both, and the galaxy waited to see whether Earth's weakest creation had just vanished forever. The fire roared like a living beast. Bright alien flames filled the hall, turning metal red and air heavy. No one moved, no one breathed. The human prototype had disappeared into the fire. Alien guards stepped back, their advanced armor melting at the edges. Even the strongest warriors could not go closer. The heat was too much. The danger was certain death. The human is gone, someone whispered. There is no way he survived. Another said, high above. The queen clenched her fists. Her eyes searched the flames, but she saw nothing. The princess lay behind the fallen barrier, coughing. Fire crept closer with every second. Her vision blurred. She believed this was the end. Then she felt something. A solid weight pressed over her, blocking the heat, blocking the fire. She opened her eyes. The human prototype was above her. His armor was burning. Parts of his body glowed red. Warning. Lights flashed wildly across his chest. Yet he did not move away. He placed his damaged arm against the ground, using his own body as a shield. The fire hit him first. Every second burned deeper into him. Inside his mind, alarms screamed. Systems failed, one by one. Pain signals overloaded his limits. Any other species would have shut down. Any machine would have stopped. But humans were not built to quit easily. On Earth, pain was normal, struggle was survival, and giving up meant death. The prototype pushed forward. Ignoring the damage, ignoring the pain, with shaking strength, he lifted the barrier. Metal burned into his hands. His joints cracked under the pressure. Move, he said quietly. His voice was broken, but clear. The princess froze, shocked. No one had ever spoken to her like this. Not with command, not with certainty. She crawled out from under the barrier. Fire licked at her dress. The heat almost knocked her down. The human held on, using the last of his strength to keep the flames away. Finally, guards rushed in, dragging the princess to safety. They pulled her free just as the fire surged higher. The moment she was safe, the human prototype collapsed. Fire consumed him fully. His body fell motionless on the burning floor. A scream echoed through the hall. The princess broke free from the guards. Tears streamed down her face. He saved me, she cried. He saved me. Emergency systems activated. Suppressor fields dropped. The flames slowly died. When the fire cleared, silence returned. On the blackened floor lay the human prototype. His armor was destroyed. His chest unit was dark. Alien doctors rushed forward. They scanned him quickly. Their faces showed shock. "There is still a signal," one said. "Very weak, but alive." Gasps spread across the hall. "He should be dead," an alien whispered. "No being can survive that." The queen stepped down from her platform. Her voice was calm, but heavy. "Take him to the medical chamber," she ordered. As they carried the broken human away, the princess followed closely, never taking her eyes off him. For the first time, the galaxy felt something unfamiliar. Respect, because the weakest prototype, the one they laughed at, had done what none of them dared. And deep within the silent hall, a question began to spread. If this was Earth's weakest, what were humans truly capable of? The medical chamber was silent. Soft blue lights covered the broken human body. Machines from many worlds surrounded him, scanning, repairing, analyzing. Alien doctors worked quickly. Their faces showed confusion and disbelief. "This should not be possible," one doctor said. "His body took damage beyond survival limits." Another shook his head. Any other species would have died instantly. The human prototype lay still. His armor was removed. His skin showed burns and deep damage. His breathing was weak but steady, high above the chamber. The queen watched through a clear screen. Her expression was unreadable. Beside her stood the princess, hands trembling. "He saved me," the princess whispered. He did not hesitate. The queen said nothing, but her eyes never left the human. Earth scientists were allowed inside. They stood nervously among the alien doctors. One of them stepped forward. "He is still alive because he is human," the scientist said. The alien doctors turned sharply. "What does that mean?" one asked. The scientist took a breath. "Humans are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. But we endure." Screens changed, showing human biology. Muscle damage, nerve overload, pain levels far beyond normal limits. "Humans feel pain more deeply," the scientist continued. "But we do not shut down. We push forward. Because on Earth, survival demands it." The aliens watched silently. At that moment, a weak sound came from the table. The human prototype moved. His fingers twitched. A low signal appeared on the monitors. "He is waking," an alien doctor said in shock. The princess rushed forward. "Please," she said softly, "do not push him." The human's eyes opened. Slowly, they were dull, tired, but aware. He tried to move. Pain rushed through his body. His breath caught. "Stay still," a doctor ordered. The human turned his head slightly. His eyes found the princess. "You are safe," he said quietly. The princess froze. Tears filled her eyes. "Yes," she replied. "Because of you." He nodded once, as if that was all that mattered. The alien doctors exchanged looks. Their scans showed something strange. His body had adapted during the fire. Muscles hardened under stress. Nerves rerouted around damaged systems. His mind refused to shut down. "This is not a machine," one doctor said. "This is willpower, given form." News spread quickly through the Galactic Alliance. The weakest prototype was alive, the one who should not exist anymore. Aliens gathered outside the chamber. Whispers filled the halls. "If humans can do this," one said, "what happens when they come prepared?" The queen finally spoke, her voice calm but heavy. "Bring him before the council when he can stand," she ordered. The princess looked at her mother, surprised. "You mean to judge him?" she asked. "No," the queen replied. "I mean to understand him." Inside the chamber, the human prototype closed his eyes again, his body exhausted, but his mission complete. He had saved the princess, but something greater had begun. Because the galaxy had seen the truth, humans were not strong because of power. They were strong because they refused to fall, and the queen, the ruler of many worlds, was already deciding how this truth would change everything. The Grand Council Hall filled once again, but this time, the laughter was gone. Silence ruled the chamber. Alien leaders from dozens of worlds gathered, their faces serious, their eyes focused on one single figure. The human prototype. He stood at the center of the hall, supported by light medical bracelets. His body still damaged, but his back straight. The princess stood nearby, watching him closely, her hands clenched in worry. Whispers spread through the council. "He should not be standing." One alien muttered, "He survived the fire." Another replied, "Impossible." The queen entered slowly. Her presence commanded absolute silence. She took her throne and looked down at the hall. "Begin," she said calmly. The council leader stepped forward. "Human," he said, "you endangered a royal life and disrupted the Alliance event. Explain your actions." The human prototype did not hesitate. "The princess was in danger," he said. That was all that mattered. Murmurs spread instantly. "You had no orders," an alien argued. "No protection, no chance of survival." The human looked up. "If I waited," he replied, "she would be dead." The words were simple, but they struck the hall like a weapon. One council member slammed the floor. Bravery does not excuse weakness. Humans are fragile. You proved nothing. Before the human could respond, the princess stepped forward. He proved everything, she said firmly. Y'all turned away? He moved forward. Shock rippled through the hall. The queen raised her hand. Silence returned. She stood from her throne, descending slowly toward the floor, her eyes never leaving the human. Tell me, she said, did you believe you would survive? The human paused, then answered honestly. No, gasps echoed softly. Then why act? The queen asked. Because survival was not the goal, the human replied. Saving her was. The queen studied him closely. Her sharp gaze searched for lies, but found none. She turned to the council. You call humans weak? She said. You measure worth by strength and armor? But today, strength failed. Screens activated across the hall, showing recordings of the fire, the guards retreating, the human advancing. Pow hesitated. The queen continued. Courage did not. The hall remained silent. Humanity sent its weakest prototype, she said, and he showed us something none of you could sacrifice. The queen stepped closer to the human, standing only a few steps away. Earth's representative, she announced. Step forward. The human delegates moved nervously. Your species will no longer be mocked, the queen declared. Earth is accepted into the Galactic Alliance. The hall erupted in shock, but the queen was not finished. She turned back to the human prototype, her voice steady. And you, everyone leaned forward. You will not return to Earth as a failure, she said. You will stand as proof of humanity. The princess held her breath. Prepare the palace. The queen continued. Begin royal preparations. Confusion filled the hall. The queen looked at the human directly. Today, she said, I choose a human. The meeting struck everyone at once. Marriage. The galaxy froze in disbelief. The human prototype stood silent, his heart racing, the future of two worlds resting on his answer, and the queen waited. The Grand Council Hall remained silent. Every eye stayed fixed on the human prototype. The queen's words still echoed in the air. I choose a human. The weight of the galaxy pressed down on one damaged man. He stood still. His body hurt. His systems warned him to rest. But his mind was clear. Slowly, he looked at the queen. Then at the princess. She met his eyes, not as royalty, but as someone whose life had been saved. I am not strong, the human said. I am not important. I am only human. The council shifted. Some expected refusal. Others expected fear. But, he continued, if my choice can bring peace, if it can stop humans from being laughed at, then I accept. A deep silence followed. Then shock spread like a wave. The princess stepped forward, her voice steady. And I accept him, she said, not because he is human, but because he chose others over himself, for the first time in centuries. The Grand Council stood in respect. The queen nodded slowly, her expression calm, but her eyes held approval. So it is decided, she said. Let the galaxy witness this bond across the stars. The news spread. Humans were no longer outsiders, no longer weak, no longer ignored. On Earth, people watched the broadcast in silence. Families cried. Scientists stared in disbelief. Leaders lowered their heads in pride. The weakest prototype, the one they almost abandoned, had changed everything. In the following cycles, alien fleets arrived at Earth peacefully, not as conquerors, but as allies. Human technology was studied, not for power, but for resilience. Other racers asked questions. How do humans endure pain? How do they continue when logic says stop? The answer was simple. Humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans move forward. The human prototype stood beside the princess in the royal gardens. The stars shining above them, he looked small compared to the palace walls. Yet no one doubted him now. You were afraid? The princess said softly. Yes, he replied. But fear did not matter. She smiled. That is what makes you strong. Far above them, the queen watched from her balcony, thinking of the future, a future where humans stood among giants, not because of strength, but because of spirit. The Galactic Alliance would never be the same. Wars would be reconsidered, battles delayed, because everyone now asked one question. If humans are willing to burn for others, what will they do when they stand together? The weakest prototype had become a symbol, not of war, but of hope. And across the galaxy a new truth was accepted. Humans do not need permission to be great. They prove it when it matters most.